All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you this beginning of this Christmas week. So glad you decided to spend this special time with us this morning. And you all know about our masking policy right now. I see everybody in masks, as we have been. So thank you for going along with the flow of that. We keep our ear to the ground for new developments and look forward to when we can become a little more relaxed about that kind of thing. But so good to have you here. I don't think we have any newcomers in the house to give a gift bag to this morning. But we'll keep our eyes on the door a little bit. If anyone comes in, we'll make sure they get one of those gift bags. We are your music today. We're so glad to be doing some music with Michael Conscious. We always enjoy. We'll have to come up with a name for the three of us. We'll have a little. Yeah, maybe you guys will have some suggestions. We need a name for our trio, right, Michael?
Works for me.
All right. So as always, we begin with prayer, and we invite you to begin to think about what you are lifting up in prayer. Prayers for healing for ourselves, our loved ones, our community, our planet. Prayers for guidance through challenging times. Prayers for peace and unity among us. If you want to light a candle for any particular prayer concern, visit that Joys and Concerns table back there. If you have those of you out virtually joining us, if you have a prayer request you want to send to the church, you can do that anytime. UnityDelawareOhio.org. There's a prayer request tab. So we'll prepare for going into prayer with a song. Joe and I did the music for it, but the words were lifted from Yogananda. It's kind of a focus on light today, and it's called Light the Lamp of Thy Love. As always, feel free to hum or sing along behind those masks. Don't worry about anybody hearing you. Filling us with renewing life, guiding wisdom, steadying peace, unshakable peace, regardless of circumstances or conditions. We are at all times in touch with that power deep within us, ready to be led by it in paths of peace, of wholeness, the solstice, to know there is a power and presence in us that is always lighting the path before us, showing us the way to greater abundance, greater wellness, greater peace and unity among us. How grateful we are to know we are at one with this presence that makes all things possible, that is vaster than we can know. So in this quiet moment in prayer, we affirm this highest of all truths for ourselves and for living beings everywhere. We are one with the light, and we are being guided by it, by day and by night. And we are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Right. Well, we are doing songs having to do with light today, and it's hard to believe the solstice is just in a couple of days, right? I think it's Tuesday. And so I was thinking of solstice songs, and this is a Solstice Lullaby. I haven't heard it in a long time. It's a beautiful song written by Jan Garrett and Sloan Wainwright, some New Thought musicians. We've had Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin here as visitors in the past. And this is a song she wrote with Sloan Wainwright. It's a very sweet, kind of lullaby-like song called Solstice Lullaby. So we haven't done that before, so we're going to try that together. My store of Christmas jokes, and they are not very good, so I'll warn you about that.
That's one.
There's a lot of kids Christmas riddles out there, like this one. What's the difference between the Christmas alphabet and the ordinary alphabet?
No.
Oh, you've heard this one.
Oh,
The Christmas alphabet has no L. Noel. Cute, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear about the dyslexic devil worshiper? He sold his soul to Santa. What do you call a kid who doesn't believe in Santa? A rebel without a clause. And what do you call Santa's helpers? Subordinate clauses. You English majors, you get that joke, subordinate clauses. And I thought this was kind of cute. The 4 stages of life. You believe in Santa Claus. You don't believe in Santa Claus. You dress up as Santa Claus. You look like Santa Claus. How true it is. All right. Well, thinking about light, this week, the solstice is coming up again in a couple of days. We used to do a special solstice event. It's really kind of, I think, a wonderful time of year, especially as it comes in the midst of this darkness, these short days, so much more darkness. It's really a good sort of thing to celebrate and honor and see the significance in. Light is soon going to be increasing again. In a couple of days, it's going to start moving toward more and more light. And it's wonderful to track that. Light has a lot of meanings for us. I was looking up, all the many synonyms for light, what it means to us: illumination, luminosity, radiance, glow, gleaming, brightness, but also point of view. We see by our best light. It means also perspective, how you see things, your awareness, your vantage point. Lots of meaning. At Christmas time, there's a special meaning of spiritual light, isn't there? How enlightened we are, how aware we are of the wonder, the mystery, the power and presence within and around us. The word Noel, which I think is kind of interesting, it goes back to Latin, and it means new light, Noel. In a way, that's an excellent way of describing, kind of the power in creation. Even in the midst of darkness, new light is always going to find us, is always going to come to us. And that's what we're celebrating in this season in many ways. Through our great way showers, Jesus of Nazareth and others, but also through all of us. New light is coming to us that we share with one another. The gospel stories, that we often read those scriptures again this time of year, they're all about the light coming into the world in the darkest of times with oppression and chaos and confusion. Like so many times in human history, the light is always going to find us. That's what those stories are about, no matter where we are. People of all kinds, it doesn't matter our walk of life or how dark the circumstances, new light is going to find us, or we're going to find it. That's the whole thrust of the nativity stories, like the wise men following the great light in the sky and being guided by it to the Christ child and feeling overwhelming joy. Stories about new light. I like the idea that the winter solstice coming up is kind of a reset time. And I've been reading that word has been coming up lately, where we reset ourselves toward focusing again on the increase in the light and how we can let that light shine through us. Because it isn't just light in the skies, light increasing in the world around us. It's light in us too can be born and can be shared and can shine through us. Last year I was kind of remembering at the solstice there was something they called the Great Conjunction. Do you remember that? I remember we went out and tried to see it in a local park after dark. It was a coming together, I think, of Jupiter and Saturn that looked like they were conjoined into one big star, and I was eager to see that. This year, just a couple weeks ago, we went out. Somebody's newsletter online I read said, be sure to go out after sunset and see in alignment Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and the crescent moon. Did any of you see that? There was only one night where it was nice and clear, and I was so grateful we caught it. A beautiful thing. You can see why people of old would have looked in the sky and been amazed by some of the great lights they saw there. Apparently, researchers say the Star of Bethlehem was really a conjunction of Jupiter and Venus that happened in ancient times that was so bright, it looked like they were right together, that it was the brightest star that anyone alive had ever seen. Solstice wonder. This is a time where we do ourselves a great service, I think, by letting ourselves be open to that wonder, that mystery, that reminder of this universal orchestration, this elegance in the universe that is all around us and we take for granted sometimes, and we're a part of that. And that light shines through all of us. So I thought, well, let's look at some key points about new light. How does it, whether in the sky or in our lives, how does it show up? When? How does it impact us? Sometimes it occurs most often in dark times, of course, like stars coming out. And like the wise men of old, not in the bright, easy times in the middle of the day, but the bright light, the new light, often comes to us in the midst of a challenge, in the midst of a dark time. I think that's a basic truth about new light and when it finds us and when it comes to us. New light always points to an order, an orchestration that's beyond our knowledge, and thus it reminds us of universal power and presence. The Father of Light, says James wrote, that it inspires us, renews our hope. New light requires our alertness, our watching for them, like going out to see the stars. We have to have our antenna up. We have to be looking, not nose to the grindstone or head down, focused on our worries or concerns. We need to be aware there's a power at work in our midst, and aware and looking for that light to find us. Because this new light, these stars, this brilliant light in our midst, doesn't seem to appear to everyone. It seems to appear to those who are expectant and alert and ready to see it and celebrate it and receive it. Not the cynical or the shut down, but the open-minded and open-hearted, ready to receive. And finally, key points about new light, they appear in all kinds of ways in our lives. They come to us in dreams, new light, new ideas to illumine our path. They come to us in words we speak, glimpses of grace we perceive, images. They appear very much through us, what we share with one another, how we show up with one another. New light reaches us that way, new light for our path in life. And always, this new light that comes to us brings us precious gifts, a renewed sense of direction, new energy, joy, peace, purpose to carry on, new hope for the days ahead of us. So what does that look like in our lives? It's happening in all our lives all the time. I like the idea of new light in a way, because it seems to me all light is new light. Light is traveling so fast. Any light we've seen, it's been coming for a while, but it's always new, moment by moment, the light that's reaching us. And I think that's true as we move through life. We are all channeling light, shining light, radiating light that we've received, and we're letting it radiate outward. There's a great circulation of light going on all the time. And I bet every one of us in this room or listening online, every one of us has been in a dark time where some light reached us that really made a difference in enabling us to move forward. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. We've all had times like that it's just confusion and chaos and darkness. And then an idea comes, a suggestion, a dawning of light, a new idea that gives us new hope and new energy to move forward. So I was thinking about examples of that in my life or in the world around me, and I had two I wanted to share with you. One, a personal one, because this happens both personally and communally all the time, this finding of new light and moving on with it and sharing it with others. Years ago, at a difficult, dark time for me, right after my mother's passing, we'd been very close. It had been a difficult passing. I was doing grief counseling. I developed from helping with her care in the hospital, and just from stress, I guess, of the experience, I developed all kinds of aches and pains that I was told was fibromyalgia, which wasn't very helpful to know. I still had all the aches and pains, not much to do with that, but I had a weekly appointment for months during that time with a wonderful massage therapist, and would talk to her sometimes, about how to work with that. Her healing hands were certainly helpful in that process, but she also had a lot of wisdom in her. She had a lot of light shining through her And one day I asked her, well, what do you know about this condition? What's the way to get rid of it for good? And she said, build a life you love. Build a life you love. Now that's light to travel with, isn't it? That's light on the path that'll help carry you forward and gave me something to mull over. There's a lot embedded in that little bit of advice. There's a suggestion, you have the power to do that. You can choose. You can build a life you love. That's something you can choose and have an intention of. And build, it's not going to happen, boom. You're going to build it. You're going to build it. It's going to maybe be cumulative, but you can make a decision to do that and move toward a life you love. That's new light. That's new light, and that can really carry you forward a long way. There's fuel in that, new energy, new hope, new purpose. And then I just wanted to share. I was reminded of it. Someone sent it to me again, and I had seen this circulating online. Another story of kind of a wonderful reset. A story that circulated, a little writing by Elizabeth Gilbert, the wonderful writer of Eat, Pray, Love, or is it Love, Eat, Pray, or Pray, Eat, Love? I don't know what it is, but she's a wonderful writer, a very talented writer. And there was a little story circulating, so much about light in our midst, called about the bus driver story. We're all bus drivers. Some of you might have seen it online, but if not, it's a story to pass along and share. It's from her personal experience, Elizabeth Gilbert, New York City. She tells the story of being on a crosstown bus, rush hour, rainy, sleety, chilly, rush hour traffic in New York City. Everybody trying to get home and irritable and cranky and bumping into each other, and a lot of tension and stress, and nobody in a good mood, and people jockeying for seats, and a pregnant woman gets on, heavily pregnant, nobody offers her a seat. There's just no kindness or mercy on that bus at all. And at some point, the bus driver kind of, at a light or something, he kind of stops and turns around and says, folks, these are tough times. I can't do anything about the weather or the traffic. But one thing I can do is I can kind of, as you get off the bus at your stop, I'm going to hold out my hand, and I want you to drop your troubles in my hand. Every one of you. Don't take them home with your family. Don't take them home with you tonight. Drop them in my hand, and later on, near the end of my path, I'll be down by the river, and I'm going to throw them in the river. And it just, total atmosphere just shifted. And everybody chuckled and looked at each other and shared a chuckle, and thought maybe he was just kidding, but he wasn't. So as everybody got off the bus and went by, he put his palm out, and everybody kind of gestured. They were putting something in his palm as they got off the bus. And he did that at every stop, and everybody did it, all the way to the river. And I suppose she didn't include that, but I bet when he got to the river, he threw him out, threw him out that window. Now that's a wonderful story, and Elizabeth Gilbert's point about it, I think, was she took it to heart, and I think it's something we can all take to heart. We can all be the light in that way. He totally shifted from great darkness and confusion and anger and animosity and division to, we're all in this together, it's tough times, let's help each other out a little bit. Let's share our troubles a little bit. Let's toss them out the window. Let's not take them home and let that darkness increase. Let's spread a little light. And wow, he did. It didn't he on that bus. And that light got spread through all those passengers, and they took it home, and Elizabeth Gilbert wrote a story about it, and she shared the light with a lot of other people. It's a good thing to remember in this solstice season, the season of increasing light, of the light coming into the world, that one of the primary ways it comes into the world is through us, and how we decide to show up in our communities and with our loved ones and our friends, how we can show up with a little light. Makes a huge difference in all our lives, beyond what we can even imagine, the ripple effects of that new light spreading out among us. So let's take that into a moment of prayer, if we could, and just close our eyes and affirm our intention to be channels of light, beams of light, to show up in that manner with ourselves, with one another, with our communities, in our world, looking for a way to increase the light and not add to the darkness, with our words, with our actions, with everything we do. The light is born in us as well. In this time of increasing light, we honor that, we affirm it, we celebrate it, and we give thanks for it. that living power and presence of God in us, ready to beam out far and wide. Thank you, God, for your unfailing presence with us, now and always. Amen.
Amen.
All right, well, we are going to do one more song before concluding things. And this is an old favorite of ours in the Christmas season. It's a Peter Mayer song called Where's the Light? It's just kind of a fun way of kind of acknowledging we're all dealing with a lot of darkness right now. Where is the light? You know, it's like shrinking every day, and that's soon going to change. But if you want to join in on the chorus with us, come on up. I mean, let it rip. You probably don't all want to come up here.
You direct them when they're supposed to sing.
Okay, all right, yeah, just sing when I sing, okay?
Where's the light?
Where is the light? Where is it?
Percussive
Shrinking.
guitar.
There we go.
Well, it's late December, dark and cold. Where is the light? When old man year is bending low. Where is the light? When the sun runs off to bed too soon. Where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. When it's dark each morning when I rise, where is the light? And it's dark when my eggs are frying, where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go, where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home, where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin and in my bones, in my heart and in my soul. Light of life so bright and golden like a summer day. When the sun goes missing in the sky, it is rising in my eyes, and all those winter gloom away. I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? And I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? And I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me.
Yeah, good job, Brad. All right, thank you all, and many thanks to Michael and Joe for that wonderful music. And now we've got some community news and announcements that our platform host, Linda Wessner, is going to